Couples, Inc.
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Lisi.
Where we are
Inked in Love. If this is your first time visiting our channel, then we just want to say welcome.
And don't forget, like and subscribe.
This video is going to be about the progression of our friendship. So we ended up talking about this letter.
Let's talk about the letter. So the letter was roses are red, violets are blue. I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you. Something to that nature. Do you like me? Circle yes or no. Her response to me was quite interesting. The response was, I read the note. I really thought it was really nice and sweet. I appreciate you for giving this to me. And she says, if you write another one of these, I'm going to have to keep my distance from you. My heart literally jumped out of my chest because that was the last thing that I wanted. It was like, oh, okay. I apologize. She, oh, no. And she did just like this, straight face now. No, you don't have to apologize. I just appreciate you. I'm not ready for no boyfriend right now. If we can be friends, but that's it. I said, okay, no problem. So
when he gave me the letter, I think I was dropped.
Take the knife out of my heart. Yeah.
No, I wasn't trying to hurt his feelings. When he gave me the letter, I already knew like he was digging and feeling me.
She saw my heart and she literally stabbed it, threw it on the ground and stomped on it.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I just wasn't. I was at that place where I just kind of wanted to be single and figure out me. I wanted to figure out what my next move was and, you know, what life looked like. Because I had always been in relationships. And at that time, I had been single for a little bit. And I just kind of wanted to just explore my identity. Just me by myself. And just figure out some things. And I really honestly did not want to damage what we had because to me, like I said in the previous video, he was my best guy friend. There was no other guy that I talked to in a platonic relationship at that time that had the vibe that we shared when we hooked up. It was like, it was so dope. Like we could talk about anything. I didn't have to worry about him crossing the line. And he respected me. He had the utmost respect for me, and I appreciated that. He treated me like I was his sister, honestly. He treated me like I was his sister.
So the truth of the matter was, I kept my feelings bottled up because I needed to. Because the last thing that I needed was for her to be out of my life. And so my plan was to make sure I did everything that I could so that she would stay in my life. And I didn't want for her to leave. So our friendship started getting stronger. We started praying together. We were watching preaching videos literally for hours.
Because that's what I like to do at the time. I was trying to be kept. I was trying to keep my mind on Jesus. And
I was just going along for the ride. Now, of course, at that particular time, I had been preaching, for a couple of years. And I was a teenage preacher. I was a young preacher.
That's one thing that I loved about him, because we would talk about all kinds of issues. We would talk about all kinds of things going on in our life, and I could always depend upon him to pray with me or pray for me, and I would do the same for him.
Absolutely.
And we didn't sugarcoat anything, and that's what I liked about our friendship too, because he would tell me something and I would be like, yo,
she was very blunt.
This is it right here, ABC, 1, 2, 3. And I wouldn't blink because I felt safe because we had a good friendship, and I didn't.
She felt safe about telling the truth.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my personality.
Look, this is the deal.
And he would listen. He would listen.
I'll be like, oh.
Whatever.
Okay.
So Anyways, he met my mom, and
Yeah.
I met his brother and his mom, and we were just chill, man.
We were friends now, and of course, the interesting thing
He was the
is that
homie.
before I was the homie to her though, I was the neighborhood stalker that I would stalk her often, and this is my thing. I would go to her mom's. Oh, she at the grocery store, or oh, she at the laundromat. I'd walk to the laundromat, and so she see me. I'd be like, "Hey, how are you?"
Yes, and we
And
talked
she's
about that
like-
in the last video. Like,
Hey.
he'd pop up, and it was just like, wow.
So fast forward, as our friendship became stronger,
we began to go to extra events together.
right? Like
we
so
weren't even
she was in a singing group.
singing.
Yeah, she was in a singing group. I was in a choir, and I was in a community choir. And
I would go to his events for this other choir he
and
was
they would
in.
ask for her to sing at times, and I would just go and support because it was an all girls group.
Oh
And
yeah, I was
so,
in a group at the time.
Yeah, and so again, it was just, we're good friends, and we solid, we down for each other, the whole 9 yards. And the interesting thing about that entire transition into our friendship becoming stronger, it was like there was this ease, and everywhere we go, people be like, "Are y'all married?" We're like, no. And in my mind, I'd be like, I wish.
And I'd be like, oh, that's my brother.
No, that's my brother. I'm like, nah, that's my sister. Y'all look alike. And it's like, she got little ears like I do, but that's pretty much about it.
Shouts out to the little ear.
Shouts
crew.
out to the small ear fam. No, I'm just playing. And so the interesting thing about just the transition, again, it was, even though my feelings were still there, God became more paramount in the friendship more than anything. And so it was one of those things to where, I was like, man, she was somebody that I could actually go to and confide in. And so I remember
he would talk to me about his other relationships with girls he was actually trying to talk to or had talked to while we were just friends and I didn't want anything more.
Yeah.
He would talk to me about these girls, whatever, and I would tell him how I felt or what I thought.
Like, you a hellion. Oh my God.
No, I didn't tell him that, but he would get relationship advice from me.
Yeah, I would talk to her to get her female perspective.
I didn't have a man, so I didn't need relationship advice.
She's like, Jesus is my man. I love the Lord. He heard my cry.
So I didn't have anybody in my life, so it wasn't something where I would talk to him about who I was dating or anything.
Right, she would never.
Because I was just content just in my relationship with the Lord.
Right.
And plus, any other time I had, he was taken up, so I didn't really have room for anyone.
I sure was, because I'm like, you gonna remember this face, player. You gonna remember me. In my mind, that was the major plot. And the plot was, I wanted to walk, hey, let's walk to the lake. So, okay. So we're walking to the lake, I'm telling her what's going on, and I'm just, kind of distraught, but at the same time, I'm still focused in on what my plot in my mind was, because I'm like, this is gonna happen. I'm just in my mind, I'm like, this is gonna be major. This is a major turning point in your life, bro. It's like all or nothing. Like, take the dive, do it with all of your might. So we got to the lake, and I had a plan. Even though I was dealing with what I was dealing with, I still had a plan, because I was so into her. I was so into who she was. I wanted to get out of the friend zone, because I think it had been almost a year. I think it had been a year. Yeah.
Yeah. And we had been talking on the phone a lot, even when I was at school and when I came home on the weekends. We would hang out all of our time. We would just.
It was like God, choir, prayer, preaching videos, and go home, sleep, and work, jobs, whatever.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time together.
Yeah. as
a
friends.
lot.
And the thing is that the part that I was glad about was that she was okay with it. Yeah, which was like, oh man, this is dope. Our friendship is really, really cool. But the fact still remained, yo, I'm really feeling this girl. And again, I literally had to compartmentalize my feelings and put it in this corner and say, okay, we're gonna see how things are gonna go. So just hold up. And so I wanted to be her bestest friend.
And he was my best guy friend.
I wanted to be there. I wanted to give her my everything. Like, I just wanted to give her my check because it's like, yo, like,
I wouldn't have taken
I love this girl. This girl is so amazing to me. Like, oh my God, this is beautiful.
So anyway,
when I was at school, my suite mates in the dorm, they'd be like, you already know who called. You already know who called. Like, he would call me all of the time. We would talk all of the time. And then when I would come home for the weekends, of course,
we would hang out.
We would hang out, but we talked on the phone a whole lot.
Yeah, we did.
And so our friendship really blossomed.
So I started discerning some things about her. And we were at the lake. And so we were walking, and she was on one side and I was on the other. And so I was looking at her, she was looking at me, but she was smiling. And I was like, oh, there's something that's changed about you. So the plot I had in my mind was I was going to pick her up. I was going to swoop her like, hey, I'm Prince Charming and I'm coming to save the day. But I was going to swoop her up at the lake while we were at the lake, and I was just gonna kiss her. You know what I'm saying? Like, just playing it on her, like, yeah, I'm going all in, bro. And, yeah.
So I could feel that something was going on with him, but I didn't know exactly what it was.
I knew she started liking me, though.
And we had been talking on the phone a lot, even though I was at school. We're still growing closer to get to know one another.
Friends.
So when we went to the lake, it was like, what's going on with him? Because it was something, I was just feeling something.
Her feelings had changed.
And I could feel that he was about to pick me up. When he was coming toward me, like, I could tell that he would, I kind of tell something was going on.
She ain't know. So the interesting thing is that I was moving in for the kill. And sure enough, I picked that girl up. I was like, swoop. And then I was thoroughly like, oh my God.
Totally surprised.
This is happening right now.
So if you want to know what happened.
Oh my God. If you want to know.
When he picked me up.
Go on to the next video.
Click the next video.
And you're going to find out what happened.
We'll tell you.
And it's going to be a trip.
Thank you for watching our channel, Couples Inc.
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Lisi. And we are Inked in Love.
Bye-bye. Take care.